Hi, I'm Melissa, your free range psychic. Today is November 7th, 2021. And today I thought I would do an update on DeJoy, Louis DeJoy, the Postmaster General. I've done several in the past and I have gotten that he will be removed, but when? And we're all getting impatient because of the damage he's doing to the post office. So I wanted an update and an explanation. I'm using the Ciro Marchetti Tarot. Somebody corrected my pronunciation. And the Oracle card that we're getting at the end is from the Whispers of Healing deck by Angela Hartfield. And there is a musical interlude, or finale as some people might want to call it. I like calling it an interlude, not because it's not in the middle, obviously, of this video, but it's an interlude in the day. It's just this time outside of time that you can escape into another mindset that music provides. That's why I call it an interlude in time. Okay. The first card I got was the Devil. These guys, these Trump appointees, they all come from the source of evil, narcissist, absolutely ruthless person. And he's just intent on doing as much chaos and gaining as much profit as possible. And he will, if he can, burn down the post office to do this. It's only in his best interests, as he has investments in other postal services. The next card that they showed me was the Seven of Pentacles, and this is literally deconstructing the United States Postal Service into private businesses. So you shrink the federal Postal Service, and then you expand your investment opportunities, which surely he has done since he's been in office. And that's not ethical, and I don't even know if it's legal, and there are investigations into this. But this is really what he's doing. That he sees the post office as being this incredible mother lode of opportunity, like a big Thanksgiving turkey that you can carve up and you can dole out. The next card they gave me was the Seven of Swords. This card is the fox in the hen house. And he's positioning himself there as long as he can, because he's going to continue to plunder. He's the thief in the night. And this is his motive. This is his objective. And he's going to get away with as much as he can get away with, this person. So the next card they gave me, which is really the penultimate outcome card, here comes the Ten of Swords, and these are all the investigations into his affairs, both through the Congress and the DOJ. And what they find really destroys him. It's going to bring severe consequences onto him. And then the outcome card, Death. And this is his removal from his position. This is the end of the line for DeJoy. The timing, my guides said the timing is January. After I asked my guides about these cards, I actually looked around or Googled around for articles, anything recent. I looked for them this morning. And I found some interesting articles, nothing that recent. I think the most recent is October. But this one I found August 15th, 2021. It's from the Washington Post. It was a blog by Vishal Shankar. I'm going to provide the link below in my description. And there was a few other articles that I'm going to provide also that I want to try to illuminate, or to, not just for myself, but for all of us, what is the deal? Like, why couldn't Biden just fire him, months and months ago? Because certainly he has continued to do damage. DeJoy is just, he's a scary dude. But there are explanations for why it's taking so long. And I think they're majorly political, just given the nature of the position, which is unique. And the Trump administration really did a lot of mountain moving to get him into this position. They blew past norms and traditional behavior to get him in. I think it might be mentioned in here. If not, it will be in the other articles how that took place. And I do think we should be paying a lot more attention to it than we are, and the media for sure should be. But they're just all in disaster mode at the moment. They don't seem to be able to praise Biden. It's like, for all this amazing stuff that he's done. And yes, yay, infrastructure bill got passed. My guys said November. They did. And it is November, and it got passed. And I should ask again about the Build Back Better bill. I think that's going to get passed too. But all of these bills, modified. That's just how the sausage gets made in our democracy. So this article is asking here, what can Biden do? And the title's "To Ditch DeJoy, Biden Must Replace Ron Bloom." A name maybe none of us heard of before. Who is Ron Bloom? What can Biden do? And this is just a portion of this article. I will post the whole article below. Fortunately for Biden, Bloom is in a fairly vulnerable position. He has been serving a one-year holdover term on the board since last December, and unlike the other governors on the board, can be replaced at any given moment due to his normal term having already been expired. While Bloom himself has told The Atlantic that he hopes Biden renominates him to another term on the board, a request that he must be denied, Biden is under absolutely no obligation to do so. The unique conditions of Bloom's board membership would therefore allow Biden to sidestep the potentially dicey legal consequences of firing the entire board for negligence, as Representative Pascrell has suggested, while also removing one of DeJoy's key protectors of power. So, just a caveat here, as far as I'm aware, Ron Bloom is a Democrat, but he has been a fierce supporter of DeJoy, and there has been some speculation that he has investments in a shared or common interest that benefits both Bloom and DeJoy. While immediately firing and replacing Bloom would be a positive step in the right direction, it alone would only give the board's anti-DeJoy wing a 4-seat minority. Biden again has some good news here, as Republican Governor John Barger's term is set to expire in December of this year. Alongside Bloom's replacement, Biden can and also should nominate another progressive Democrat or independent to take Barger's soon-to-be open seat and ensure the board has an anti-DeJoy majority by 2022. Replacing Barger alongside Bloom will also neuter the power of the board's other pro-DeJoy Democrat, Donald Moak, whose term only expires in December 2022. So there's never been a better time to fire DeJoy, the article goes on to say. Contrary to what the NALC's leadership believes, there has never been a better time to oust one of the most reviled and unpopular figures in the federal government. A figure that almost certainly increased since the chaotic election and holiday mailing season. DeJoy has also done very little to win back public trust, predicting that the widespread mails delays will be the new normal for 2021, championing a 10-year strategic plan that has received negative reviews not only from the congressional Democrats, but small business owners and postal unions as well. So I think this is really good news, but this is the background information that we didn't know. My guides show me that Biden will go ahead and fire these people and put his people in, and this is what he's waiting for. And I think it makes the most sense for him, or to him. And Harris is involved in this too. You bet she is. To wait until these vulnerabilities line up, and then get rid of them, and then put their people in January. So I think that's some good news. We have all been very, very frustrated in this, and there is this underlying narrative that everything needs to happen really quickly, and we're going to lose our democracy if it doesn't happen quickly. But actually, if things happen really quickly without going through the democratic process, what does that mean about our democracy? The other thing I wanted to mention briefly here is that, and I know I kind of bring this up often, but I still see it continuing, which is this narrative in the mainstream media and also really on Twitter. It's pretty toxic, actually, and it's making everybody crazy. It's making everybody fearful that somehow the GOP are winning, and the fascists have really won, and if Biden doesn't do this, and Biden's weak, blah 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 blah, and we should all be angry about it. And my guides did say this to me. They want to address this themselves, that anger, when we come from anger, not that anger is a negative emotion, it can be a very positive emotion. We can put anger into action, and we can do very positive things with that energy that anger can generate. But if it's just anger in a vacuum, then it's easy to feel victimized. It's easy to feel like it's somebody else's fault, and you sit back and you go, I'm not going to vote for them if they don't do this, or what's the point of them? When that happens, it disengages you from the process. It's also not true. I have to believe that the Russians and the bad actors like Steve Bannon are still seeding in to Twitter and to Facebook and our social media and trying to take it over, trying to take over our emotions and our reality, our perspective, so that they can weaken Biden and his administration, the Democrats. They can get better chance for their coup to work and for the Trumpians to get into power. Be careful, be careful, be careful, please. We should all be careful when we start hearing this drumbeat of a narrative that is making us angry, that's making us tired, that's making us so cynical, when we can look at the achievements of this government in such a short period of time. It's been tremendous. Biden has achieved amazing things. Be careful of this vulnerability, this window of time, because they certainly, if there's a vacuum, they'll get in there, and they have gotten in there. They are there to see if they can take over the zeitgeist and turn it against the people, the Democrats, turn it against Biden, turn it against progressives, turn it against anybody who is trying to move us forward and to heal this country from the destruction of the Trump administration. So we have to be our best allies, and we have to keep an open mind. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be critical of anything that is potentially something that you would be critical of and that you don't want to see happen or you want to see change. But there's always, or I'm not going to say an absolute here. My belief is that if there's a negative feeling or feeling of powerlessness, or let's say things aren't getting done fast enough, what is the solution? Not just kind of sitting back and getting angry and feeling superior at at people who are, we don't even know what they're doing about it, really. We're just assuming there's a lot of assumption, especially around Merrick Garland. A lot of anger being projected at Merrick Garland. Do you know why so much anger is being projected against him? Have you ever, stepped back and gone, well, wait a minute, is this justified? He's not been in that position very, very long, only since April. And the DOJ worked slowly. It took 2 years for Watergate to really come to fruition for that trial, and for Nixon to get to that point where he would resign. We have to give time, and we have to make sure that the narrative about time running out or it being too short is really true. Is it true? So we have to question things if we're going to make decisions that are based on something more than just an emotional rush. So a positive solution is what really we're always looking for. This is what's wrong. How can we then positively change it and make our voices heard and put something into a positive action? So we can feel empowered, because we should feel empowered. We got Biden in there. We got Harris in there. We got Trump out of there. We have all of that ability to continue working in a positive way to get more Democrats in for 2022, so that we don't have to always, be nail biting about Sinema and Manchin, and to make sure the Congress is strong blue, doesn't get weakened, and support our agenda, which they surely are following through on it. And if they're not, then write your senator or do something positive, do something that you feel is productive, even just education, to wake people up to that so action can happen. This is a really important time not to fall back asleep and not to just become what Americans are really conditioned to become, which is spectators, as if everything's a spectator sport. My guides really wanted you to think about that, and they want to assure you that everything is moving forward and your prayers are heard. But we're part of this too. So that's what I wanted to say about that. And I'm sure I'm going to continue to comment on it, because what is the point of just being angry with no positive solution? We just fall into despair. But we're all responsible for how we perceive things. We all need to take responsibility and always be working on that, especially when there's high emotion at stake, and it's understandable why that would be. Okay, now I will read you our card, and our oracle card is sensitivity here. Sensitivity. Being sensitive means you feel energy on a deeper level than most people around you. You may sense or know what other people are feeling or thinking. You may also take on the feelings or moods of those around you. You may find that your fears become amplified when your sensitivity is heightened. To heal this cycle, learn to confront your fears. Work towards getting to know yourself. You need to be aware of your feelings so you can tell when you are being unduly influenced by the energy of others. Developing your intuition will help you manage energy that is not yours. Very apt. At this point in the reading, I always let people know I am available for personal readings. I do past life readings, anything in the present, past, and future as well. In this lifetime, I am a medium, and I love to introduce you to your guardian angels. Please take care. Love you. I will be back next week. Bye.